I spoke to Kerry Allen from BBC Monitoring.
Well, who's a 42-year-old man, he posted pictures on his WeChat account, which is like a Chinese version of WhatsApp, of scratches on his neck, and he said that a group of over 10 people had come up to him and said that he didn't have the correct paperwork because of a child he'd had a couple of years ago. So they said that he needed to have a vasectomy, and he alleges that they took him to an office and carried out this procedure, even though he did actually have the right paperwork, but he'd recently moved from another province in China.
The way that this vasectomy, this sterilisation was carried out, it all sounds rather gruesome.
It does, yes. A lot of people have been saying that on Sina Weibo, which is the Chinese version of Facebook or Twitter. There have been people saying that it was a savage method, and some people saying, for example, society is too dark. So lots of comments like that coming out on Chinese social media.
Of course, there are some people who are asking why there's such a fuss about this case, given that they say that many more women have been forcibly sterilised. They're saying, why all this fuss over one man?
There are. A lot of people have been saying, would this have had the same storm on social media had it been a woman? Because in the 1970s, lots of forced sterilisations were common, particularly for women. It's not that common for it to happen to a man. I mean, one person, for example, who got loads of comments on Sina Weibo said, why are people howling over one man's vasectomy? If this was a woman, would it be a different case? There have been other people saying that this is the 21st century now, and they've been saying they didn't expect to see this in 2017, that these kind of forced procedures were still taking place. And there's a lot of fear about people, particularly in a position of power, being able to exert this much pressure on a man like Hu.
And Hu Zhenghao himself, we should say for context, he has history.
He does, yes. There's a newspaper, Beijing News, which said that Hu had already had 3 children with his ex-wife about 15 years ago. And back then, the one-child policy was still very strict. The newspaper said that his wife was sterilised back in 2000. For him, obviously, this wasn't the case because these kind of procedures are very rare when it comes to men.
Kerry Allen.